Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, ho. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, ho. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Oh boy. Let me make sure that's muted. Hey y'all. What's up, peoples? It's your boy, MM2K, back with another one. It's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? Duty still calls, man. Duty still calls, man. Things is crazy at work. There's no stability. I'm losing my patience, man. I'm yelling at mugs left and right, man. I need a vacation. So I can't wait till E3. Because for E3, even though your boy ain't going to be able to make it this year, I'm going to be off at least those 3 days, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. You know, of course, I'll be doing any special coverage I can. I'll be rocking it out with Triple B, you know what I'm saying, the brethren, you know. Doing the thing, man. I can't wait, man. Just because this place is crazy, man. Leadership is key. I kind of talked about this before. Leadership is key. You got to know what you don't know, and you got to know what you do know. And you know, unfortunately, where we're at in my place of employment, we just the direction is scatterbrained. It's all over the place. We've become so inadulterated with processes and policies that are all about covering your ass, CYA, that we have no clear direction. We can't problem solve. All we can do is finger point. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting frustrating because I come from a problem solving state of mind, and all these mugs know how to do is just say, hey, he did it over there, and she did it over there. Hey, MM2K, do something about it. They did it over there. And look, one of my philosophies of life is instead of pointing out problems, think about solutions. You know what I'm saying? And I think some of that is going on at Microsoft too. Not so much. It's not that they don't know where they want to go. I think they're disillusioned, or they're putting their eggs in one basket over a certain set of new policies or a new structure as far as it comes to gaming that I think they don't realize is really going to blow up in their face. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, I want to thank everybody that is in the chat now, that will be joining us in the chat, or that will be watching this later after this is recorded, even if you're not watching this live. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you very much. Before I get started, though, I mean, y'all see the topic. Does Microsoft care about the hardcore gamer anymore? Before I get into all that, I want to do something a little different. Because your boy's only here because a podcast I was listening to not too long ago. I'm not going to name the name of the podcast right now. I'm going to do that for another time. I'm going to have a sit down with Z in the future. You know, we've talked about it, and this is a very interesting thing because it's funny how stars align. You know what I'm saying? But when I have that sit down with Z, I'm going to say that for that. But there was a podcast I just happened to be listening to on the Humbug, and the podcaster said, you know what? Because there was a bunch of podcasts I was listening to, but this one podcaster said, you know what? I'm going to do something that's normally not done in this industry. I'm going to name other podcasts that are for a group that are opposite of the group that I like, you know, or the platform of my choice. You know what I'm saying? So I was basically listening to a PlayStation podcast, and it's like, we're going to name some good Xbox podcasts. You know what I'm saying? And they named them. And then there was one in particular that they named that I started listening to. A couple of them. I was like, oh, cool. That's what's up. And after listening to that podcast, I then found out about BGST, because this podcast was affiliated to BGST. So I found out about BGST. And it's been golden ever since. You know what I'm saying? Reached out to the Godfather, Next Gen 720. You know what I'm saying? Real down to earth cat. You know what I mean? None of it is bull crap. That's why, you know, I don't mind going out in the Twitter field and grinding it out. Because a lot of people want to make up stuff. People just don't like people. I try to tell my son, my kids all the time. People just ain't going to like you just because of the way that you breathe. You know what I'm saying? They're just not going to like you for a bunch of reasons. What's up, Kyle Palmer? I'm the only one in the chat. What's up? Hey, they say two is a crowd. You know what I mean? Two is a gathering. All right. So, but I appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you for coming through. So as I tell my son, there's people that just ain't gonna like you for whatever reason. You know, Z's a stand-up dude. You know, he looked out for me when people just turned their backs or just act like I was just non-existent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He actually was down to earth. He didn't live like in this high pedestal and say, "Oh, who's this cornball?" You know what I mean? He talked to me. You know, responded back to him. He's like, "Yo, you could come rock out with us." You know what I mean? And it's been golden ever since, man. You know what I'm saying? So I got much love and respect for the dude. And like I said, yeah, I will go to bat for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know personally, after, you know, hanging with my Triple B brethren and all that for a long time. I mean, well, for me, it seemed like a long time, but it's only been like several months. But long enough for me to know that these are some good people. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And don't believe everything that you've been told. People have agendas out here. I keep a small circle of people. I don't rock with everybody. I keep a very small circle of people because I'm just like that. When you get to know MM2K a little bit more, as I begin to open up, I don't trust everybody. And I don't like everybody either. So if I like you and if I trust you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that means you got your ticket to heaven, but you know what I'm saying? I'm real skeptical of people. 706 Noah, what's up, yo? So Kyle Palmer says, yo, did you already start talking about the hardcore gamers? Not yet. I'm gonna do a little intro. I'm gonna do a little intro and then I'm gonna get into it. This is gonna be a good one, man. I'm just warming up. You know what I mean? Just bear with me. But I want to pay a little homage. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you coming through, Kyle. And like I said, my man Noah in the chat, Triple B. So like I said, I keep a real small circle. I don't mess with a lot of people. People are shady. I don't have time for the silliness. I don't have time for the effery. You know what I mean? And I cut people off like a light switch. No problem. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Kyle. I don't deal with the fake mugs, man. I don't deal with them. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say I'm not always perfect. I know my wife tell me all the time, man, you got a very short fuse, man. You got a very short fuse and a long way to go. You better do something about it. And I work on it every day. But you know, Next Gen 720 is a stand-up dude. You may not agree with him or some things or whatever, or his approach, but it is what it is. You know, he's a very stand-up guy. He does not stay on some pedestal, think he's better than everybody. You got to pay, you know, you got to pay to see him spit on the pavement. He ain't one of them dudes, man. You know, so big ups to him. I want to do something. I want to pay homage. I want to pay homage to everybody that's in the chat right now. My people's Kyle Palmer, Noah, big up. I want to salute the people that have been following the show on a regular basis. My man Thomas Franks. Dr. Vaca, you know what I'm saying? He's from the region, you know what I mean? Philosopher Doom. My people's Top Dog, you know, the old school hip-hop references, you know what I'm saying, being foul and dirty, trying to show that pony love with the old school hip-hop references. My people's Neverland, 6996, and then some of the followers on Twitter. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to get everybody. Buckland Corn, Bandit the Gamer, and also Tip Diamond, Lex Prez, who's next, you know, people following the show. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate all y'all, no doubt. Also, the extended family, the extended Triple B family. You know what I'm saying? Even the controversial ones. You know what I'm saying? Even the controversial ones. My people's Alex Escobar. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? Crazy dude, man. I'm hoping we can do some. We had some fun. Me and Alex and Next Year, we had some fun doing that PSX show, man. We was cutting up, man. Oh, dude. Was it the Game Awards? It was the Game Awards. Man, I hope that we can do that again. Alex Escobar is a character, man. My boy P-Rock, man, with his craziness, with his crazy anti-Xbox rhetoric, man, got Twitter on fire, man. Just relax, bro. Germany got you bugging, but that's my man P-Rock. And then my boy All Day Digital. feeding the swordfish to Yoshida at PSX, man. What's up? And then is his right hand in crime, J Dubs, you know what I'm saying, with the crazy memes and all that stuff, man. Big up to J Dubs. Also, D Batch. My man's Tim Dog, man. What's up? Randolph Thor, you know what I mean? The whole former TXR crew, you know, big ups to y'all, man. And my people's K Mega, you know what I'm saying? GRG. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all some cool peoples, and thank you, K Mega, for having me on the show a while back. All right. I also wanna I'm on Mixer too, Cal. Yep. And I appreciate you, Cal, for being sub. You said you was sub for 6 months plus 6+ months. I hope there's something I watch more of Crack Haver and others. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. What I try to do is come down the middle. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you for your support. I also want to give big ups to some other podcasts you guys may not be familiar with, man. One podcast in particular is called Orange Lounge Radio. 3 cats out of California. They just talk anything gaming, man. That's the very first podcast I started listening to. And also a sister podcast of theirs is a cat by the name of Bobby Blackwolf. All right. Now they're a little bit more mild mannered, but they're funny. I appreciate the podcast, and that's one of the first video game podcasts I started listening to. Got me through a lot of rough times at work where I would just tune into them cats and tune everybody out and get my work done, man. Make me the most productive mug in that building. And they're on a place called the VOG Network, so check them out. Also, am around it out here. My brothers, the Smash Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Follow them. Look for them on Twitter. My man Bloody Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? My man Spree G. You know what I mean? G Spree. I always chop up the name, man. My bad. My man Soul King. You know what I'm saying? My people, Cyrus Burke, he's one of my supporters too, but I ain't want to show extra bias, name you twice, but my people, Cyrus Burke. My man, Neefles, Triple B Brethren, check this show out, man. The greatest comic book show alive. It's every Saturday, like around 1:30, 2:30. Matter of fact, it might be around this time. I better hurry the hell up. Also, Triple B, like I said, King's Blood. Garrett, you know what I'm saying, dropped another dope video a couple days ago about, what do you call that? Damn it, the show was so horrible, I forgot about it. About Inside Xbox. My man, the real Maslin, you know what I'm saying? My philosophy brother, gaming philosophy brother. My man Post Up with the close-up. You know what I mean? My man Noah. J Wags. Xbox Juice. Xavier Bay. Devil Dog. Man, there's just a bunch of us, man. There's a J Dot. There's just so many of us, man. And I apologize if I forgot anybody. And last but not least, of course, the Godfather himself, Next Gen 720. Big ups to everybody at Triple B. And last but not least, where I started doing this thing with, man. I started doing this thing with the people called the New Age Faction. We was just doing news articles, and then we broke off, and then remnants of us started the PNTS network. And then they broke off and they're doing their own thing, you know what I'm saying? I went with Triple B, they're doing their thing. So, but big ups to them, PNTS Network, my man TRS, Nature Boy, and Killer Hill, man. They got some good things coming down the pike. Stay tuned to them. And I do the show, I still do Scram Punks with them every Wednesday, but it's on hiatus right now. That'll be coming back soon once I can get my work schedule together. Cal Palmer, yes I do, sir. Yes I do. During the there's a PayPal listing, and then there's a StreamYard support joint. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it. I also put it in the chat too. Yeah, anything's appreciated, man. Anything's appreciated, bruh. But with that being said, let's get everything started, man. Let's get everything started, man. What you say, Cal? Oh, man, I'm about to break your heart, Cal. Your boy Next Gen is not the greatest actor. He was joking. He was, and I hate to laugh about it. He's not a good actor. He even caught me. And I said, gee, I'm doing it. And he was like, yo, it was a joke. And I was like, oh. And he's like, man, did you listen to the end of the video? He's like, you dumb mug. And I was like, no. And I was, but a lot of people, you know, so it was a joke. He came back and he did a follow-up video, Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Now, some mugs was sitting there trying to take advantage of it. They was trying to take advantage of it and say that he was doing this for click. No, man, no. Z's just a character. He's a funny dude, and it was a joke. All right, so let's get on with the show because I've talked about 15 minutes and I ain't even got nowhere. But I wanted to pay homage to everybody, man. Big ups. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the cold hard facts. Over the past few weeks, or the past few gaming gens. Now, you guys know my background. I'm as consoles are concerned, I do favor the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? And here's why. Over the past few gens, Microsoft did bring us a system that had a wide array and variety of exotic, nuanced titles and experiences not typical on a console. And this is particularly something to me because for a while I had stepped away from the consoles. I was playing RPGs at the time, and all other games I really didn't care for. You know what I'm saying? And then until I came across the Xbox. When I came across the Xbox, it reopened my mind. So I've been gaming for 30 plus years. In between that time, I may have took a few years hiatus, you know, because of work or whatever. I was out doing some other things. And the Xbox brought me back full-fledged, you know, invigorated in the gaming. You know what I mean? This was turned... what Xbox represents now started off just as a cult following, and it was turned into a viable gaming force. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they went from just selling 24 million consoles their first generation to 80 million plus their second generation. They kicked Sony's butt last generation. Sony, the king of all gaming for a long time, since like the mid-90s. You know what I'm saying? And who also had a 75% market share between the three consoles, Xbox's first gen, which was, I want to say it was the 6th generation. They also did something instrumental. What was instrumental for them is they evened the playing field by bringing home the top-notch second-party games while making a name for themselves in the sci-fi shooter world. Now, those games that they brought home was, of course, the GTAs and the Final Fantasies. They were no longer exclusive to Xbox. I mean, to PlayStation. That was a big shebang. And they pioneered top-notch quality and innovation and all-around experience, including auxiliary applications like being able to go on Netflix, do some other, you know what I'm saying? They brought that graphic user interface, the GUI, to a whole nother level as far as gaming is concerned. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, it's because of these efforts that the system has a very stable leg, presents value to those who primarily enjoy multiplats, and they focus heavy on online security, connectivity, power. There are gamers like that. Truth be told, the average casual gamer is looking for a place to rest his nest, to play their multiplats, and to see where else their friends are at. So if their friends are okay with the online connectivity, like playing the games, the typical multiplat games there, they'll go there and then their friends will follow. That's the name of the game. They really don't care about most of these first-party games, except for maybe a God of War, a Gears of War, a Halo, or an Uncharted. Outside of those games, casuals really don't care about exclusive titles. They go with the multiplats, okay? Now, with all that great stuff that I just said about Microsoft, and those of you know that I went from calling myself an Xbox enthusiast to being a free agent. Here's why. Microsoft has done horribly this generation, producing the word of mouth and getting from its hardcore to bring over those casuals to fit into this group of people that say, hey, my friends are here, I want to join too. And the reason why they're not getting that word of mouth from the hardcore is because we, the hardcore, have not been presented with the same level of quality and innovation in the year that we've gotten in the years past. I'm not talking about what Sony's presenting. I'll get into that a little bit. Let's just focus in this segment about Microsoft. What brought us to hardcore to the console, that level of quality has not been present this generation. What brought us to first generation, and then what really, you know, had us hopping out the window last generation just is not here. And what I want to do right now is I want to talk about how did we even get here? Why are many still in denial And lastly, what can we do about this? But before I get into that, I want to get back to the chat. So my chat is out here, you know, they're tearing it up. My man Kyle Palmer said, you know, I appreciate you watching. He said watch 3/4 of the video. T Reaper said joking with death is not cool. Now next time we'll not give it. Man, come on, T Reaper, man, come on, bro. You better than that, man. This dude's out here cutting up, man. You angry, bro? You angry? Get some chill sauce, man. I get it. You feel abandoned, but I'm gonna address all that, T Reaper. You still the homie. What's up, Cyrus Burke? What's up, Cyrus Burke? Because T-Reap, and you should, look, man, we're going to keep it real. 2018, we're going to keep it pristine. I ain't got no, T-Reap, I ain't got no problems with you, man. I ain't got no problems with you. I don't take this stuff personally. Like I said, I keep a small circle. Triple B's my friends. I love my people, my chat, my followers and supporters. I appreciate you coming back. But T-Reap, you should be more sensitive to this than anybody. Because they just tried to flambase you with the whole, you know, Japanese gaming comments not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of the dudes that went out there and said, look, let's stop the silly stuff. And the ironic thing about it is, and I'm not going to name any names, one of the same cats that tried to flamboil you about the Japanese comments is now getting flamboyed about something they said about the adaptive controller. And I'm going to say the same thing. This console war things, people will say things, and sometimes there's fake rage. Some things should not be said. Some things are insensitive, and that is a fact. And I won't say the insensitive stuff regardless of what I feel. But at the end of the day, we don't want to use that to keep our eye off the ball. Back when you said what you said, T-Reap, the fact of the matter is that Sony had a big shakeup in its lineup as far as its execs. Nobody wanted to talk about it. That was a distraction. This time around, Xbox is having some issues with its exclusive content. This shouldn't be a distraction either. They should be handled on separate panels. I'm not saying they shouldn't be handled, but they should be handled on separate panels. So T-Reap, you gotta understand that, man. Come on, don't fall into these distractions, because when it was you, bruh, how did you like it? You didn't. I ain't got no problems with you, ET. I'm just saying, man. Let's just be fair and balanced, bro. Let's just be fair and balanced, okay? But nah, I'm a big ups to T-Reap, man. All right. So, big up to Cyrus Burke. Kyle Palmer, 80 million. That's right. How about the Xbox One X? Xbox One X is sitting like Ahmad out on Twitter, one of the analysts. I believe they're around 35 million. People are saying it's 29. It's 35. It's around 35. And Ahmad is nowhere near an Xbox enthusiast or an Xbox fanboy. This is the same cat that it was erroneous, but he's still a great analyst. He had just heard a rumor that Xbox wasn't pumping no money or wasn't making any money off its gaming division. And when Phil answered it, everybody was dogging him and he had to block people, you know what I'm saying? But Ahmad's still that dude, man. He still come up with some good numbers. He was just reporting on a rumor that he heard. You know what I mean? So Ahmad, under no leap of the imagination, is an Xbox fanboy. He's telling you, this is what he does. And I understand, because I do data analytics. You cats don't appreciate and understand the level of intensity as far as doing research that is involved when you do data analytics, man. You can't leave one stone unturned. That's why everything that I predicted so far has become true, except for one that I semi-pulled back. I told y'all in November that when everybody was squawking about those November NPDs, I told you, Sony had a 55% chance of winning November NPD. I gave you a number. And what happened? When those numbers were revealed, Sony, I think, won by 53 or 54%. But nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody went, oh, you're GameStop and all this. No, just kill that noise. When I threw the numbers out there, who was throwing numbers out there? All right. When I told y'all that Microsoft, even though the S was still going to be the biggest selling console, that the X was going to give it a big boost. Up until April, the first quarter of 2018, you know what I'm saying? What happened? My man Matt Piscatella reported that over the first quarter, I believe that the Xbox family of consoles was the best-selling consoles, even though they individually each month they did not win an NPD. But when you lump the whole quarter together, they were the best-selling ones in the Americas for the NPD numbers. I told y'all this was going to happen. Why is it happening? Because of tax money. I operate within a sector that I got to review tech stuff too. I got to do data analytics for tech stuff. Around this time, first and second quarter, everybody don't spend their income tax at Rent-A-Center and get TVs to rent. Everybody don't do that. Some people save their money for the tech seasons because they know there's tax breaks. And one of the biggest things that are picked up during the first and second quarter is video games. Now, people may look at April's NPDs and they'll say, hold on, MM2K, but you said that the Xbox One X last year was going to win one of the NPDs in second quarter. And I did pull that prediction back for the simple fact that what I'm about to talk about. Microsoft's strategy was not a competitive strategy. I was under the impression it was a competitive strategy. Once I discovered that it wasn't a competitive strategy, I pulled that prediction back. But you know what I'm saying? But all of the predictions that I've stuck to until the time came true. Back to the chat. Said I'm all for trolling, but so many people were falling for his presentation issue was talking about death. Is that works and the only trick to see how many care about it? You though. Okay. I feel you, T-Reed, but I'm just saying, let's just keep it balanced. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Just keep it balanced, bro. You know, like how we pulled out for you and was like, you know, hey, look, man, come on. You know, it's T-Reed. You know, hopefully you can do the same thing. All right. So how do we get here? Okay. How do we get here with Microsoft not presenting the way they needed to present? And then you have people like Crap Gamer and Mooch saying, look, look, man, Crap Gamer and Mooch have been hammering Microsoft as well. I mean, Next Gen was the first one, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Some people see the light after others. Oh, and speaking of that, big ups to my man J-Dubs too. Big up to J-Dubs. Big time supporter, man. Love you, J-Dubs. Appreciate you, bro. With that being said, everybody's upset about State of Decay. They're wondering if what's Microsoft going to do? What is their plan? Are they even trying to compete? Like they've gone beyond saying, hey, stop trying to be friends with Sony, and they're finally realizing, is Microsoft even trying to compete? And that's the thing I've been telling you guys since my very first video. My very first video was labeled, Phil Spencer got a promotion and I'm not celebrating. There's a reason why I made that video. There were trinkets of information coming showing that Microsoft, as far as this gaming division was concerned, was abandoning its strategy of the past that was rooted around competition. It was going more toward a Silicon Valley type of mind state. So let me break it down for you. Microsoft went through a big reshuffle due to its flailing stock price in 2013, period. They were making $21 billion, but under Steve Ballmer, my man Sweaty Steve Ballmer, lactating from his armpits, they were purging money left and right. The revenue wasn't in sync. You had the Zune thing that was finally starting to be shut down right before then. The Windows Phone was considered a failure. Then you had the bad rollout of the Xbox One that was lauded in controversy. You know what I'm saying? Even though they worked quickly to correct it. But some things just happened. You had a bunch of stuff that happened. And for its business sector, it's a very tight business sector, which you guys don't understand about investments. Or maybe you do. I deeply apologize if I sound sarcastic. But I understand. For those that don't, for those that don't understand. Microsoft is in a very tight business sector, meaning they're in a sector that profit margins are very, very, very high. They're in a business sector with other companies that aren't making as much money as they are, nowhere as much money, but for every dollar invested, they and their investors are getting a lot more return. That's big in the stock market. It's not so much about how much money you're making, but their ROR, rate of return. Even right now, they're battling to stay what we call over water, which is 50%, meaning they're in the upper 50% of the people that make money in their business sector that are on the stock exchange. Down during the Steve Ballmer times, they were like in the lower 15 percentile. It was horrible. This is a multi-$100 billion company. Or a multi-billion dollar company. Or I could be, what was it, multi-$100 billion company? So, with that being said, they had a lot of problems. And so Steve Ballmer had to go. And anybody that was a Steve Ballmer faithful had to go. Now, Terry Myerson is a very smart guy. I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, as Next Gen says, that has a connection to Tony Myers, I believe his name is. Guy was talking to me, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want, spill the beans. Guy was talking to me, and he, not too long ago, a few months ago, like put me at depth of what was really going on at Microsoft under the Terry Myerson regime. And yeah, Terry Myerson was snatched up the purse strings, but everybody had to snatch up the purse strings that wasn't considered core business. So it wasn't like Terry was like, oh, man, forget y'all, man. Y'all ain't getting no money because this is the way I think. No, they were not considered core business. When you're not considered a core business, you don't make that much money. When you don't make that much money, you don't get a lot of money from the corporate side. I can relate to that. I have worked in department. My company is the largest company within its sector. And that's all I'm going to say. It's the largest company in this business sector. We are the largest, period. With that being said, the data analytics that I do, I used to do it for a group that was like a Microsoft's gaming division. We were not considered core. So we did not have a support team that, fixed computers. We had to do it ourselves. We didn't have a support team that would go and buy software that would talk to Microsoft and do software contracts or whoever we had to talk to. We had to do it ourselves. We didn't have a corporate come and support our servers. We had to set up our own servers. There's a lot of stuff that we had to do on our own. So we've self-taught ourselves. Going into this company, I knew nothing about databases. I barely knew about spreadsheets. Now I'm able to put together a database. I know SQL language, all that type of stuff because we had to support ourselves. Because we were not getting the financial support from corporate. When you make money, you get financial support from corporate. So I can completely relate to what's going on here with Microsoft. So it wasn't just Terry Myerson was like, you're not getting any money. Terry Myerson in his meetings with the other executives was given his budget. And then he had to do what he had to play his cards. So then he would go to Phil and be like, yo, financially we're over water. We got to find some stuff to cut. And Phil did his job as a boss. He found some stuff to cut. He went by the studios, checked to see what was going on, saw that they were still just bleeding money through Scalebound, saw that there was some stuff going on with the studio behind the Fable thing, and it was his decision to cut those studios so they would be over water. You guys got to understand how this works. Terry Myerson doesn't get that, he don't have a key to the vault of Microsoft cash and he just fills it up with garbage bags. Dumps it in the garbage bags and shit and then brings it back to his office and then he just hands out stacks to motherfuckers when he feel like it. It's not how it works. All money is approved by a board. Then it's filtered out by sector. Once it's filtered out by sector, each leader of each sector has to distribute their individual piece of the pie. And then they're given instructions too. You better give this portion to this section, this portion to that section, and they don't like you to deviate from that more than 1 or 2%. Because if you deviate from that more than 1 or 2%, then that shows that when you provided them data so they could do their budget, that you don't know what you're doing in their minds, and you're wasting their money. If you're off 1 or 2%, that could have been money that was spent used somewhere else. Or if you're over, even if you saved more than 2% nowadays in the Fortune 500 world, if you saved more than 2% of your money, like, oh man, we didn't spend 2% of our money. Corporate could come back to you and say, hold on, how did you save 2% of the money? Don't you know how to do data analytics? This shouldn't have been over a 1%. This is a 2% that we could have budgeted somewhere else. So y'all gotta understand this stuff before y'all start going on these silly parades talking about Terry Myerson, Terry Myerson. Terry Myerson did not walk into a Microsoft vault with some glad bags, fill it with money, and then went to his friends and passed the money out. It don't work like that. But you're going to get educated here. So, with that being said, the new leadership that was there, even while Terry Myerson was in charge of the budget, did not originally welcome gaming in its core business. That had nothing to do with Terry. That was Satya Nadella. Remember Satya Nadella? Came on, did a couple of interviews, I think with Forbes, and said, we cherish gaming, but they're not part of our core business. When a company CEO says that, he means, I don't give up about you. You're here, and you better stay over water, or you will be gone immediately. That's how businesses do. Companies that they don't feel part of their core business. When you're not part of the core business, it's just something that you do because it's an attraction to something that helps. Like the business area that I was in, we weren't expected to make money. We were just expected to make enough money to where we weren't in the red. But if we came out $100 on top, that's fine. Because your people ain't really getting no substantial raises. You ain't getting no bonuses, all like that. You're attacked on service, meaning we utilize your service and throw y'all in as an extra icing on the cake to help reel in other business. So that's why we weren't a core business line. And we had to support ourselves because we weren't getting anything in the budget. Same thing with gaming. Gaming was looking to seem less and less lucrative because they were bleeding money out of the gaming division. And they were like, well, this is something that we have. It's something that looks good in our portfolio. There might be some cross benefits later down the line for some of our clients, some of our vendors. We'll keep you, but we don't expect a lot from you. Therefore, don't expect a lot from us. Okay? So again, Satya Nadella himself said they weren't part of the core business. Phil, being the yes man that he is, that I explained to you, he did what he thought was what was best, completely what is expected in order to fit in this new regime structure and save gaming at Microsoft the best way he could. So what I mean in English, he was a yes man. He wanted to keep the business there. His buddy Mikey Barr and Shannon Loftus and them, he didn't want to see them on the unemployment line. He said, look, I know we used to compete in Aaron. I know you bleed green. Y'all gonna have to simmer this down, man. Under this new cat, this is what he likes. I am not going to challenge what he likes at all. I ain't gonna show that I got any balls. We just gonna go with the flow, and we gonna show him how what we do can completely fit under his vision. That's a yes man. You don't always have to be a yes man. I'm in a very critical area right now because they are purging people of management left and right. If you blink wrong at your superiors, you might come into a pink slip on Monday. I don't keep my mouth shut. Whenever there is a problem and I don't agree with somebody and I think they're being boneheaded, I don't say that they're being boneheaded. I just say to them, I'm confused. I thought we went over the details of this. I thought we went over the data. We combed over this for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. The way you envision this is going the wrong route. Here's what it's going to lead to, and I show all my proof. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. Because when, excuse my French, when shit gets fucked up, I'm not going to be the mug with the broom cleaning it up. Because I'm not a yes man. Now, because of that, I could rub somebody the wrong way and end up with a pink slip on Monday. It is what it is. With that being said, Phil is a yes man. By all accounts. He doesn't push. He did exactly what Donnie D wanted him to do. He did exactly what Terry Myerson wanted him to do. And he's doing exactly what Satya Nadella wants him to do. And for you to be able to change your mantra so quick, boom, 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 like that, you're a yes man. So Phil, it is what it is. And what Satya wants him to do right now is Satya wants him to purge the core. That's why you hear Phil on the Giant Bomb interview last year talking about, yo, I ain't got to drive Sony into the ground. I ain't got to do that. Or when he said, remember when the one cat I forgot the dude's name, who was the former VP in Britain or London or Europe, Sony Europe, said that the reason why they won't do crossplay is because they want to save, they want to protect their kids from the Xbox community. And Phil wanted to say something real bad, but the only thing that he uttered out at first, and he had to catch himself, he said, you know what, there's something I want to say, but then it's going to, but I got to be very careful because it's going to get me in trouble. Huh? How's it going to get you in trouble? This is the competing team that is pretty much saying your group is full of pedophiles and mugs that endanger kids, right? That's why we're not doing, instead of being honest, instead of them being honest and saying, we don't want to do this because if you do crossplay, you're helping us lose incentive of buying the PlayStation 4. That's why we're not going to do it. It's not smart business. They pretty much said that your gaming community is full of pedophiles, and the first thing you can utter in response to that is, I got to watch what I say because it's going to get me in trouble. Get you in trouble against your competition that says something crazy like that? Do you think that they would have cared about getting quote unquote in trouble against you if the shoe was on the other foot? Absolutely not. And lastly, what is evidence that Phil is a yes man? Well, not lastly. I almost forgot one part. He wants to purge the core. He said that. He talked about fanboys. And he always talks about fanboys when it's in relation to his base bringing up concerns and issues. And I'm not talking about the rabid people that say, Phil, I used to love Xbox. You stink. Go burn in hell. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those people that made clear, concise comparisons of what they're getting now opposed to what they were getting previous generations, asking them about that, maybe being a little intense about not being vulgar or foul or anything like that, and them getting shot down on Twitter or treated like SOBs, but meanwhile, Ryan McCaffrey and them can sit there and yell out Mike Ybarra like it's nothing. But that's how you treat your passionate fans. That's the purging of the core. The next proof is they're in the Silicon Valley mode with Sony, meaning the Silicon Valley business model is we don't compete out front. We shake hands out front and we compete behind the scenes for patents and services that we can see who's going to be the first one that get a service that our quote unquote former competitor is going to want to use and help us make money. We'll find a way for them to make money too. But we want to make the most money, so but we're all making money off each other. So at the end of the day, we can all sit and have lattes together, but behind the scenes, we're just scrambling to see who can get the patent for what first. Example of that. Twitter's now making money off of Facebook. Facebook is now making money off of Twitter. They're both making money off of Google and vice versa. That's the Silicon Valley mind state. And that's where Microsoft is trying to push Sony to, but of course, Sony is not falling in line. They're resistant to it because they're a traditional business company out of Japan. They don't play that. They don't play that craziness. There is no Silicon Valley in Tokyo. Trust me. How they're trying to push them to the Silicon Valley model? Praising their games, giving away their consoles on Mixer, and even a lot of you probably didn't know that before Sony re-released its VR headset, they were at Microsoft Studios looking at the Hologen tech. When Gabe Newell was there, Sony was there too. They kept that hush-hush. And Phil Spencer inadvertently blurted it out during a real quick interview that I don't think a lot of people saw, and it was spoken of no more. Yes, Microsoft invited Sony there to see the HoloLens and the AR/VR technology. And not too long after that, Sony released its enhancements to VR. Now, I'm not saying it could just be a coincidence. But, again, Microsoft extending an olive branch to Sony, saying, look, we ain't got to compete no more. We can be friends. Like my man T. Reaper said, why can't we be friends in the chat? That's their approach. And last but not least, Microsoft now is creating, when it's most important for you to come out with your AAA bangers, to really show your consumers that it was worthwhile your purchase, particularly after dropping a $500 machine, and showing them that they're going to get the best of the best with this machine. They are creating mediocre titles that are built on capturing the casual's attention and can be easily transmitted to countless devices, opposed to forging together and dropping money on AAA exclusives to show support to their core for sticking with them through this rough time and turbulent time. Instead of doing that, they're telling you, hey, look, we're going to do the cloud, 2.1 billion potential consumers, AAA titles, forget about them. But I'm the crazy one. And I get it, a lot of my Xbox friends are mad at me right now. And they're mad, and I'm going to get into it why they're still in denial. They're mad at me for all the wrong reasons. It's not a binary choice for me. I'm going to say this and get to the chat. It is not a binary choice for me. It does, just because I don't like what Microsoft's doing, I am not in hence saying that Sony is knocking it out the park as far as what I like or what's the better product. I will say that Sony is giving their consumer base what they want. Whether you say it's not hard to do it or not, whatever it is, they're getting what they want. They're getting what they want. And that's all we're asking for. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the chat. Because my chat is the best goddamn chat on the planet. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay, damn. All right. T. Reaper said, I legit walked in on a 3-hour podcast at 3 a.m. Eastern. I was like, you do know it's 3 a.m., right? I don't know who they talking about. Oh, I think they talking about Crap Gamer. T. Reaper said, Phil be on Broadway like Hugh Jackman. Be like, why can't we be friends? Absolutely. You see, Hugh Jackman, exactly. Kyle Palmer, big ups to Kyle, said they should have come to their senses years and years ago. They just trying to use Xbox. In response to Noah, T. Reaper says, I don't know. I believe that either, but that's what the number suggests. Hey, what you gonna do? Laugh out loud. T. Reaper. Most, I'm not mad at you. Oh, no, T. Reaper, I'm not mad at you either, bro. No, man. Don't take my... Man, look. Let me explain to the crowd. Let me explain. Because I remember Juice said, God damn, Moss, stop yelling. Look, I have a short fuse. I live in a household where none of these mother listen to me. So you please gotta excuse me. I work in a business, like I said, where the higher ups don't listen to anything that I say. The people that report to me want to play stupid. I'm yelling 24/7 a day. It's hard to shut this off, man. So even when I'm happy and I'm excited, that's just the way I am, man. Please, T-Reap, don't take it the wrong way, man. I'm not mad at you, man. Like I always tell everybody, everybody's welcome here, man. Whether you're an Xbox fan, a Sony fan, you know what I'm saying? You done had words with me, it don't matter. Everybody's welcome. I don't take this personally. This is about games, and I'm doing this for y'all. You know what I mean? I'm doing this for y'all because I'm doing this for the love. So T-Reap, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no hard feelings, bro. Everybody can, hey, I see the Xbox friends out. Yeah, everybody come at me, man. Everybody's mad, man. My friends are mad. My Xbox friends, they're hot. They're like, come on, Mos. And they got serious. Stop giving Sony a pass. Nah, and that's where they mess up. This has nothing to do with Sony. The only thing that I'll give Sony credit for is they're giving their gamers what they want. I must mention Sony one more other time, but if you notice, 90% of this, I haven't talked about Sony. Sony gives their gamers what they want. That's what it's all about. When you're a service provider, just give your consumers what they want. If you decided to get into something that's a little bit more difficult for you to sustain, then you got to be upfront and transparent with your consumers. You can't just do a switcheroonie on them and expect them to be happy and start calling them fanboys. I'm tired of these fanboys. All this fanboy stuff is crazy. No, they're rabid and they're angry because you ain't feeding them right. Now, how did we get here? Microsoft went through a big reshuffle, like I said. And I already talked about the new leadership and all this stuff and Phil being a yes man. But why are many still in denial? They're in denial because here's where people are going to disagree and think, and I want you to listen to me all the way through before you start passing judgment, because they're like, you're damage controlling for Xbox most. No, I'm not. I got so many people saying my name wrong. I'm saying it wrong now. It's most. You got to, you damage controlling most. You damage controlling. Look, here's the deal. Why are Xbox people in denial about the state of the console and the brand altogether? Well, this is why they're in denial. We got to be honest. We got to be honest. Early this generation, there was heavy media bias and over-exaggeration that still burns them to this day. This whole 1080p makes you a better gamer. The PlayStation 4 can do 1080p 60 with room to spare. That bullshit that was told to us by Kojima. You know, and all this other. When you walk into a store, and the people at GameStop would just basically tell you, well, if you like Halo and Gears, then get an Xbox. But for your multiplats, everything plays better on the PlayStation. It plays so much better. So much better. So much better. You gotta get the PlayStation 4. I'm telling you. I work with a cat right now that used to work at GameStop. I see him all the time. He was a manager. And we talk about game. And I don't think he knows what I do. You know, that I do the whole YouTube thing. But I was just picking at his brain. That's what I like to do. I pick at his brain. And he basically admitted to me that that was the big thing that they were told by corporate, because Microsoft did a horrible job with product placement, trying to really pin down and explain who the Xbox One was for. And Sony presented them with an opportunity to do better product placement. They just said, hey, shit, we're going to lay our eggs in the basket of Sony because we got to make money off this shit. Excuse my French, I'm sorry for the swearing. And they said, we're going to, and the PlayStation 4 is going to be a easier product to sell, so we're just going to go with this gibberish. That was basically it. And they did it all over the country, all over the globe. And they made it seem like that difference, that 1080p over 920, the extra 180p, or 900 over 1080 was such a grand difference. When it wasn't. Games did not look that much better than as it was indicated. But now with the Xbox One X, when you take the average multi-plat game and compare them on the X and the Pro, it's leagues. It's leagues different. Sorry, it is. On average. Not with all, but on average. So we got to talk about sheer volume here. We can't just take one example here, one example there. I'm telling you. When I got my Pro, I was told by PlayStation enthusiasts, don't get the Pro. It's a small resolution box, and it's only good for VR. Are you getting VR? No, don't get it. Wait for that Xbox One X to come out. I didn't listen. I had bought my 4K TV. I just needed something. I needed something in my system. I was scratching like Tyro Big. I was lips white as white as a snow cone. Looked like the frosting on a looked like the frosting on a goddamn what do you call them? Funnel cake. Lips look like the frosting on a goddamn funnel cake. Man, I gotta get something 4K. I gotta get a 4K box. Man brought it to me. I brought that mug home, hooked it. I was like, yes. Now the Xbox One X is gonna be a little bit better. I'll be happy with that. But I need something 4K in my life. Yes, let's start it. Let's go. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. What's this? I don't see that resolution bump and the graphical bump that I was expecting out of a 4K device. And I was playing Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn just looks great, period. But whoa. I didn't see the jumping visuals. Whoa, what's going on? Went back to my man. I was like, yo, I'm looking on ratings.com everywhere. What's up with my box? The box is fine, bro. I told your ass. You were wasting your money. You need to wait for the X to come out. So, as I said, games look better now on the Xbox One X on average when you take the same game and put it on the Pro. And lastly, what still got people in denial is the fact that this is still burning them up too. When Microsoft had the games and Sony had nothing, the media said it was a good thing. There were actually articles out there that said it was a good thing that Sony didn't have any games. Now that the Xbox family of games is in the same position, now it's a travesty. And because of those things that happened that got a lot of Xbox enthusiasts burnt up, they don't want to give the haters the satisfaction of seeing their system down. Before I go to my next part, I'm going to go to my chat. Kyle Palmer said, this has got to be an hour-long podcast already. We have 55 minutes, bro. You are very close. T. Reaper said, no, most they just out with pitchforks and be like, I had a dream inside Xbox wouldn't make you crave 60 seconds allowed. Sony brainwashing people left and right, Kyle Palmer says. Day and night. PS Pro like 2K, not true 4K. A little better, like 2 times better. Yes, it is. It is. And I know that got the few pony people that was watching. They are gone. They're like, I don't want to see this shit. I didn't come here for this. I wanted to see some more RIP Xbox podcast. And they left a little too early because here goes the truth. Even though, yes, there is media bias. As I've said in previous podcasts, the media grew up. These people are humans with flesh, with emotions. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe. But that's why when it comes to sports, something as competitive as this, I don't compare video game commentary and stuff like that to like viewing art and other things like that. This is very competitive in nature because video games are competitive in nature. Who's the best at Street Fighter? Who's the best at racing? Who's the best? Who got the best scores? Very competitive. So you got to compare it to sports. That's why every sports announcer has to tell you their favorite team. They don't do that because it's charming. They do that because we all got to know what their bias are as they report on teams. Because it's going to ooze through, and if they're not honest about it, they lose all credibility. The same goes here. Whatever your bias is, you got to be honest about it. And these media journalist people are not honest about it. And too many PlayStation people are honest about it. They just like to lie and say, I don't favor Sony. I just like good games. That's bullshit for the simple fact that last generation, you had a system that was $600. It was horrible to develop for. The multiplats generally were horrible. They were trying to charge you extra for bandwidth. They lost the biggest operating system that was a big pull to the system, even though it had all those flaws. And as a result of them doing that, 30 million accounts got compromised. And guess what? Doing all that, guess how many consoles they were down worldwide? Only 8 million consoles. And this is before they started pumping out the games. The only thing that they really had under their belt that was noteworthy was Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2. At the time that it started trickling back down for them. You know what helped them out? Bundles, console bundles, by them just showing homage to their consumers base, saying, you know, we're going to lose money on this, but we're going to do it. And they started hitting Europe with these little bundles. And then Europe was like, oh man, this is what's up. So then they got the mind share back out of Europe. And then they slowly started working on the States. That's all they did. But Jack Tritton was behind that strategy. They went a long way. Because they understood how much important they had failed on the mind share. They went off the rails and they understood how important mind share was. So basically what I'm saying to you Xbox enthusiasts, even though there was earlier media bias, even though the gap in the way the games look is a lot wider now than it was, and even though Microsoft had games and they weren't given credit when they had games, and now that Sony has games, they're giving credit, it doesn't matter. Why do I say that? Who cares about media bias? Because the old Microsoft never cared. Period. Top Dog with his shit. Top Dog in the chat said, like Freddie Fox said, Microsoft is lazy. Oh, no. It came with the Freddie Fox bumpy knuckles. Who cares about media bias? I'm saying it. I'm going to come straight down the middle. It existed. It exists to this day. It existed last generation when the Red Rings of Death came out. And look, listen to this. Listen, check this out. Even though y'all mad about all that, we got to be honest. The Xbox people weren't always on the up and up. They released a console that they knew had a 60% failure rate. And they still put it out there. Just to get a large install base. They still put it out there. And they also said, you know what, we just going to put this. They didn't decide overnight we're going to invest $1 billion in this. Hell no, they knew they had to invest $1 billion in it. That is shady. That's shady. But despite all that, the system still shined through because we trust that they were still working for us as far as games were concerned. As far as giving us nuanced sci-fi experiences. So the PlayStation people were mad about that too. How dare they? They knew that this system had a 60% failure rate and they still released it. Die, Microsoft, die! And when it didn't happen, they was salty as hell. They was licking their tears. I remember because I was on the different gaming boards and Mugs was just literally crying, man. I had Mugs hit me up in the DMs on GameSpot where they was talk their stuff out in the chat, and then I wouldn't feed into it. I just laugh with them or whatever, calm them down, and then we would talk privately, and they just be like, man, I just don't get it, man. Man, the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, man, the Red Ring of Death, man, this thing won't die. And I would say, calm down, yo. Answer this for me. How much is Sony sending you in their paycheck this month? And and then it would hit them. Nothing. Why the hell are you so gung-ho about them being number one? And they wouldn't have a response. And I would say, let's be real here. You got to be honest. That's a problem with you. That you have gotten yourself in such a shallow place that you need to get online and see the world validate your purchase. That your console of choice has to be number one. Is Sony making money? Yeah, they're making money. They're doing well. Are their games critically acclaimed? Yeah, their games are critically acclaimed this generation. Heavy Rain, Flower. Then what the hell are you upset for that they're not number one if they're giving you the shit that you want? Oh, but you don't understand. Oh, the Red Ring of Death. Oh. I'm just saying. So Xbox enthusiasts, you really got to think about it. As I would shake my head and I would talk to my friends that work with me in the New Age faction, and we would just shake our, and we'd be cracking up at this stuff, man. Like, wow, man, this is deep. I can't do nothing but shake my head at y'all now, man. Y'all starting to remind me of them cats from last generation. You know the quality isn't there. You know this stuff is mediocre. And you know that the roadmap that we've been given for Microsoft is starting to look shady as hell from what they presented. It ain't look, let's not, the last part of denial is we don't know what the roadmap is. Yes, you do. It is mediocre games that have connectivity to them that are easily portable to any type of device via the cloud. My man that was the creative director on Sea of Thieves or whatever he was, when he did the interview with Mooch and Crap, said that the reason why they went with that art style is because the art style is easily transferable and has a longer life on different devices and over a longer period of time. That's Microsoft's strategy. Hence why State of Decay 2 was first advertised as a AAA game, but then something happened in 2016. I think that's where this cloud strategy came from, that they really started pushing, and they started defunding everything. And the resources probably went towards this cloud stuff. It's just hitting me right now. I got to do some research on that. Something happened in 2016. Sea of Thieves was supposed to come out in 2016. Crackdown was supposed to come out in 2016. And State of Decay, I think, was supposed to be 2017. Sea of Thieves got pushed back a couple of years. Crackdown got pushed back to Lord knows when. And State of Decay got pushed back a couple of years because something happened in 2016 where resources were diverted elsewhere. The Xbox One X was already in production. It came out in 2017. That budget was already allotted. Something else major was going on, and I believe the next major step was this cloud technology. This take years to work on. They probably came out with this cloud technology thing and said, we want to start releasing this 2018. There are already rumors that E3 this year is going to be big on that. Hence why, and this is probably something that Steam was already working on and that they're releasing this year. Hence why Steam is talking about it now, that you're soon going to be able to play your Steam games on devices. Microsoft is looking for a way for them to create the same type of hub, for your games to be stored somewhere on the cloud and you remotely connect to them on multiple devices. That costs money to create. So that's why Sea of Thieves is half-assed. That's why State of Decay is buggy. That's why Crackdown is pushed down indefinitely. They are plugging all their resources most likely into this cloud service that they're going to introduce at E3. We already know what the roadmap is. Mediocre connected games to reach the 2.1 billion. Let me get to the chat. Top Dog says Metal Gear was 2018. Don't forget, only reason 360 got ahead was a year early and $200 cheaper. You know what? I'm going to say this, Top Dog. I had to do some research because your boy was on the podcast, so I'm not going to. I was on the podcast somewhere else, and someone called me a dumb MFer because I was arguing that the PlayStation people, that people try to make it seem like that PlayStation people don't have a rabid fan base. I said, despite all of the challenges with the PlayStation people stuck with the system tried and true. And I was called a dumb MFer by somebody because they said nobody bought the PlayStation. And I said, hold on, I remember writing articles on this. I can't remember the number. I run through so many numbers. This was a long time ago. Let me check that out. And when I look back at the numbers, it showed that the widest gap worldwide was 8 million. So you're trying to tell me that despite all the problems that the PlayStation 3 had with the download and the connectivity and all that stuff and everything, the horrible user interface and all that other stuff, that by them only in the 30 million hack, by them at the peak only being 8 million, that they don't have a fan base that will live with them, do or die? You're lying. I say Sony has the most rabid. They have a more rabid fan base than Nintendo. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. I appreciate you, Kyle Palmer, for sticking around. I know I go on my tangents, my rants, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I gotta teach the people. With that being said, they have a rabid fan base. They stuck around. So what I'm pretty much saying, Top Dog, is I don't doubt that. It could have been a different thing. You are right. What if Sony did come out in the same year? I don't know if they would have sold 8 million within that year. You know, I don't know if the price drop would have made much of a difference. Too much. It could have, though. So no one can be mad at you about that. That's based upon a lot of facts. Because after all that, they still stuck with them where the gap was only 8 million and the games didn't come till the last 2 or 3 years of the generation. Yet this generation, Microsoft, all of its issues pretty much were done away with before the console released. And people still abandoning it 2-1 after 6, 7, 8 months. Sony has a faithful fan base. When they saw that they had a better presentation, there were bugs crying at Sony's conference, holding championship belts. Who does that? So, with that being said, who cares about the media bias, my Microsoft people? The old Microsoft never did. Again, the Xbox One X is not being utilized properly in marketing. So this being the latest and greatest has not translated to the masses the way it should have been. They haven't utilized marketing. My co-host still don't understand what the hell super sampling is. He didn't understand it until he saw something from Sony. When they started tweaking their super sampling on the Pro not too long ago. That's horrible. Because Digital Foundry came out and said the super sampling in the Xbox One X is phenomenal. I've seen it for myself. It is phenomenal. How don't you market this properly? Aaron Greenberg told you. Because, you know, people don't watch TV no more. Blah, 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 blah. So they don't market the way that they used to. It doesn't matter media bias also because this is the latter part of the gen, folks. And I'm sorry. As a consumer, you should expect your investment to really, really pay off now. You shouldn't be saying to yourself, oh, it was fantastic earlier, but right now it's subpar. I know we dealt with it last gen because Microsoft kind of tapered down. But we really were high off of how well they did because they did phenomenal during the first part of the generation. We had the better experiences on the platform, bar none, for everything. We had all the exclusive content, all that stuff. So, exclusive content for multi-plat games. We had all the exclusive content deals, pretty much. So with that going on, even though we weren't cranking out the games exclusively on our own, we had the best experiences with the games that were being played the most, bar none. Bar none. The gap in between performance was so wide it was ridiculous. But it ain't like that no more. PlayStation 4 was a more powerful machine going forward. Even though it's not the most powerful machine out there now, it's still good enough. It's not the PlayStation 3. This is not the same Sony as far as their approach to gaming. The PlayStation 4 is a lot more capable. Its online service, even though it still doesn't beat Microsoft, is good enough. Its UI is good enough. All those gaps have been severely closed. So when the gaps are closed, then it becomes about purely the games for the hardcore. And in the latter part of the gen, again, your investment is really to pay off now. Let me share with you an analogy that hopefully that'll round everything up for you guys, and then I'm going to start wrapping this up. I always use the analogy of Ruth Chris Steakhouse. When Sony people say to me, why don't you like the Sony platform better? Why didn't you, why? We got more games over here. And I say to them, because I'm not a volume hawk, okay? I have a small circle. I have a small circle of things that I like. Now, I've been gaming for 30 plus years, but I know what I like, so I don't need to go sit there and taste test everything. I'm a Ruth Chris Steakhouse type of motherfucker. Where I look at you Sony dudes in a lot of ways, y'all more like a Golden Corral cats. Y'all will sit there and go over variety and praise variety, even if everything smells like cabbage. The shrimp smells like cabbage. The steak smells like cabbage. The chicken smells like cabbage. Potato salad smells like cabbage. The cabbage smells like shit. Excuse my French, sorry. But with that being said, I don't care about volume. I care about quality. And the Sony games, for the most part, up until God of War, were just cinematic press here, watch this happen fests for me. And I didn't like that. And going off of what Microsoft presented last generation, I was waiting for that to come. I was eagerly waiting for that to come. So I'm a Ruth Chris House steak type mug. So even though Golden Corral's next door and I can see people rolling up with their plates, bellies hanging over their belts and all this other stuff, them belching and wiping barbecue sauce all over their face, and I'm still waiting for my steak, that's fine. Because I know when they drop the steak on my table, it's going to be pure quality that these mugs I don't even know about, that they can't even experience, they wouldn't even be able to handle. That's how I compared Xbox to PlayStation. However, let's just say under that same scenario, you are the Xbox cat. You're sitting in Ruth Chris Steakhouse. You're next to a Golden Corral. You see everybody eating and feasting and burping and belching and like, oh, we bought out some prime rib. You're like, oh, your version of prime rib ain't going to mess with ours. You know, you're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And there's no steak coming out. So you're like, hold on. This don't seem normal. I really don't care about what they eating on over there because I don't like that slop. I don't care how many people enjoy it. I don't go with the herd. But something's going on here. So let me investigate. And you go towards the kitchen. Well, no, first you start asking questions to the waiter. Well, what's going on? Oh, no, your steak is coming out, sir. It's coming. It's coming. Your steak is coming. Trust me. This is going to be the best tasting steak ever. Trust me. 30 minutes pass by. You're like, hold on. What's going on? Now we got an extra 30. What's going on? You ask somebody else. What's going on with the steak? Hey, look. We searing it up for you. This is going to be great. You just wait. We got some quality steak coming. Here, let me just give you a little sample. Here goes a sample. Yeah. You like that? You like how we presented that to you? Okay, great. The steak is coming. We got so much steak back there. We're cooking it up. Seasoning all the juice is bursting all over the walls. It's coming. Just sit here. Don't just stop it. Sit here. So then you go, and you're still waiting. Another 30 minutes comes. Where the hell is my steak? Hey, look. I see you keep looking over there. You're such a fanboy. You just want a whole bunch. You're such a food boy. You just want so much food. We don't operate like this. This is quality coming. I told you the juices were bursting all over the wall. I told you the steak is coming. Yo, just sit here and wait patiently. It's coming. And then finally, you're like, you know what? I've been told this for too goddamn long. I'm getting up and I'm going to take a peek and see what's going on in this kitchen. Because I don't even smell any steak. I smell bacon. I smell like pork chop. This is Smooth Chris Steakhouse. I want the steak. So you get up out of your seat. Excuse me. You go to take a peek behind there and you don't see no goddamn steak being cooked. You just smell bacon. You see pork all over the place. You don't see, and someone pushes you. Hey! Get out of here! I told you. It's coming. Well, what's all this bacon doing? I don't see no steak. Hey, look! Everything ain't got to be about steak. Stop being a food boy. People like bacon too. But hold on, you said there's steak back there. I don't even see nothing cooking. It's coming. Steak takes time. That's what's going on here with Microsoft. They keep telling you it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But in that same scenario, an hour and a half ago when I asked your ass, where the hell is my steak? And you told me that the juices were bursting all over the place. Apparently you were lying to me. You lied to me. You don't have nothing cooked up. Matter of fact, you want some other stuff. You cooking up some Cuban pork or something like that. You ain't got no steak coming. So in response, I have no choice but to go back out there, beat on my table like, yo, I done got dressed up. I'm in my finest suit. My lady's in her finest dress. We was sitting there trying to parade, you know, with the best restaurant out, Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Hey, yo, every patriot, everybody in this place, these mugs ain't got no goddamn steak back there. They're making pulled pork. What? They're making pulled pork? What? No. What? And then you have your mugs in the corner. Hold on. They stand up. Hold on. How do you know they're making pulled pork? They said they're Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I saw the guy come out and tell you that the juices were bursting all over the place. You need to be just paid. Oh, I hate this. Everybody, when you don't get what you want, when you want it, you're so damn entitled. Remember that word that was thrown out? You're entitled. No, son. It's just some of us are wise enough to get up and peer into the back and not just be fed the horse shit that's been given to us. I got my ass up out of my seat, peered into the back by doing research, looking at video, connecting dots, talking to people. And by all intents and purposes, it don't look like we're getting them AAA bangers, them sci-fi shooters that we're used to on the Xbox system. By all intents and purposes, it looks like they're looking past that because they got burnt by trying to go AAA earlier in the gen, but they just don't realize they had the wrong approach with it. And they're looking at a whole nother scheme. And while they're trying to create this new scheme, they're looking to keep us sitting there by just pouring water in our glass, keeping us steady so we don't go too rabid and go out them in public. And then they just gonna come out and say, yo, I know y'all expect a steak, but we got something even juicier. It's called pulled pork. And when maybe the 30 of us leave and be like, we didn't come in for pulled pork, they've already sat out signs out in the mall, did their research, talked to people, increased their fan base. The people that like pulled pork be like, shh, look, we're now Chris Ruth Steakhouse is now serving pulled pork. Be there in 5 minutes. Get your free sandwich and get some coupons. Meanwhile, we're still sitting at Ruth Chris Steakhouse waiting for the steak to come out. So after they shored up a new base, now they just tell us to go. Now they just tell us to leave. And that, my friends, is what's going on here right now. We are sitting in this restaurant waiting for something that they've told us was coming. They told us in so many ways in what we call banker babble. It's an industry term. Phil is an expert at that. They've told us so many ways that this stuff is coming that now we finally realize it's not. And there's still got pockets of us that want to sit in the corner and want to take everything at face value from these mugs. Because they got a smile on their face. Because they look like they just grinded some coffee for 3 or 4 hours. And they walked their poodle. They look like people that walk their poodles and keep the poop bag with them. They don't let the shit just sit on the sidewalk. They pick up the poo. These are nice people. They wouldn't lie to us. You're a damn fool. They've been lying to us. There is no steak cooking in the back. I hate to tell you, it is what it is. So don't get mad at us, those of us that have done our research, that have looked into what was going on, and we finally understand what's happening. Just realize this, now it's time for you to open your eyes. It's time for you to open your eyes and recognize that the people that you did put your trust into, and they're good at it. It's no fault against you. They are good at it. That the people that you have put your trust into have been lying to you. By all accounts and purposes. That's what it's looking like. Now, do I know with 110% certainty? No. I'm not a fortune teller. I do data analytics. Data analytics is not a perfect science. But if it squawks like a duck, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and smells like a duck, I don't know what the hell the duck smells like, but if it smells like a duck, then for all intents and purposes, it's a duck. Don't be that overly exuberant and overly optimistic cat in the corner talking, still believing the waiters. While the owners in the back passing off flyers. Ruth Chris Steakhouse now serves pulled pork primarily. Come and get your free sandwich. There's going to be a lot of room. There's people in there waiting for steak, but we're about to get rid of these mugs real quick. So all I'm saying, people, is just wake up. Understand what's going on. And here's how we can turn the tides. It's not completely a lost cause, and I'm going to close out. We got to stop damage controlling. Like I said, when you got people denying facts, denying evidence, and keep saying, well, we don't know 100%. We ain't got to know 100%. All we need to know is 50%. We don't owe them nothing. We made them. Stop talking like this is the family business. They don't know you. You're a consumer. They are the business owner. Their job is to produce. They got you mugs wrapped up because they on Twitter. Now you feel like these is your friends. These ain't your friends. Call Mikey Barr, tell him I'm coming over. Ask Phil if you can spend a night at his house next week. Tell Aaron Greensburg you need to borrow a 20 spot till you get paid. These ain't your friends. They got you so wrapped up in the social media shebang, you think that these cats really care about you all like that. No, they don't. Because if they cared about you, they would have the AAA bangers out there. This is a business. I don't care what clothing the sheep and the wolf got on. It's still a business. And I don't trust none of these mugs. I'm not saying Stoney's being on. No, they're not. Don't trust none of them. And they got you mugs fool. Y'all so wrapped up in the social media. Y'all believe this garbage. Not your friends. Stop damage controlling. We ain't got to know nothing for 100%. If they're not producing at any given moment, you have the right to complain and refuse the product and services and call it for what it is at the moment. You got that right. So in light of that, what do? Also do? We need to hit them in the pockets. Hit them in a way that will cause them what we call reputational risk and financial loss. Meaning, don't buy their products and services. Let the masses know we got a big problem here. Let them know. When they can't sustain this money, you're not going to cut off all their money. But when you stop buying their goods and services, when you drop your Xbox Live services and all that stuff, stop buying their digital games, only buy games used, then they'll get the picture and they'll realize, you know what? We can still have this 2.1 billion strategy, but we got a lot more money for the sake of the hardcore. Or this thing ain't going to have any legs to it. This transition won't have any legs. And I don't mind there's a transition. Or it ain't got to be a transition. It can be a growth. But don't forget about me because we made you. Don't still expect my Xbox Live money if you forget about me because we made you. So stop doing that and make sure that they are wary of the reputational risk and financial loss. As long as they still got you little bit of mugs in the corner talking this silly stuff. But the waiter said, they said that hours ago. The steak is not coming. And if it is coming, they need to hurry it the hell up and they need to show us that the steak, bring out the pan or something with the steak sizzling on it. Because from all intents and purposes, they look like they're lying to us and it's their job to show us that they're not lying. Perception is not a test of the law. They have nothing to hide if we don't buy their goods and services because they won't exist. Understand the power that you have as a consumer. They're not your friends. They are the business that you want services and goods rendered from. You are the consumer. That's it. And for those of you that aren't asleep, that have awoken, know what you want and state it clearly in a way that benefits both sides. Now, I know I've done all this yelling and said don't care about them, but you got to be honest. You can't sit there and say we want games for free. We want you to start just dropping free games. We want all your games free for 3 years and multi-plats too. That's not reasonable. Anybody would want that. Anybody would love that, but that's just not sustainable. So when you have ideas, show that you're not just blurting out crazy stuff. Show that we are the smart gamers that we are. Okay. I understand that their need to make money, but at the same time, they understand that they got to also service you. You got to work that balance, okay? Negotiate. Be smart. Be smart at what you ask for and know what you're asking for. And to piggyback off of that before I go, don't ask them to mimic Sony. We need competition, not duplication. I did not become an Xbox One gamer because I said, oh, shit, look what they're doing over there. That looks just like Sony, but in a bigger goddamn box with a bloated controller. Oh, I'm on board. No, I did not. In most cases, you didn't either. You became an Xbox gamer because what they provided was different from Sony. And you preferred what they provided, which was different from Sony, opposed to what Sony was offering. Period. That's how it works. Nobody buys Pepsi because it tastes like Coke. If they want Coke, they'll buy a Coke. So stop asking Microsoft to be Sony. We need them to be Microsoft again. We need them to stay in their lane. They are the box of the sci-fi shooter. There's nothing wrong with it. If Sony can get away with making every game third person over the shoulder with crazy vegetation, god damn. Martha Stewart, Martha Stewart must have been digitized and put into every Sony game because there's so much vegetation. There's death and destruction everywhere, but vegetation's all over the place. You get apples and oranges and cucumbers. You can fight the zombie apocalypse and then get a cucumber every 5 feet. There's so much goddamn vegetation. It's crazy. Top dog in the chat talking about sell your Xbox. So, with all that being said, yo, Philosopher Doom, you came at the last minute, bro. So with all that being said, I really appreciate everybody tuning in and sticking with your boy as long as they did. But the fact of the matter is, to answer my question, does Microsoft care about the hardcore gamer anymore? No, they don't, by all intents and purposes. And if I'm wrong, it's their job to prove me wrong, not to say, just wait, just wait, just wait. Under that same scenario, the Ruth Chris House scenario, the way we've been asking the waiter every half an hour, when is the steak coming out? When is the steak? We've been patient. Even though next door where there's Golden Corral, a.k.a. Sony, we were like, we don't like that garbage. We like what you presenting, but you got to present something. You got to give us something. And they're like, the steak is coming. It's coming. It's coming. After 3 or 4 hours, we got a problem. And if I go take a peek back in that kitchen, I don't see no steak coming. I come back out, I'm like, yo, you can't be mad at me. Don't be the mug in the corner because you sitting there willing to starve for these mugs. That's you. The rest of us are not. And understand that Microsoft is now all about this 2.1 billion strategy. 2.1 potential gamers, billion potential gamers that they can reach. Therefore, that's why there's not the quality control in their content. That's why you're not seeing the AAA content. Something happened in 2016. I'm telling you. Mark my words. We're going to find out soon, in a year or two. Something happened in 2016 that caused Microsoft to scale back on its quality control and its attempt towards AAA works. Things got pushed back. State of Decay went from being a AAA project that Undead Labs confirmed and went to being a AA project after they revealed it in 2017. For those that were shocked, I wasn't shocked. When I saw it in 2017, I said, oh, this ain't going to be AAA like I thought. It's going to be AA. Okay, fine, whatever. And Sea of Thieves, which was originally to be released in 2016, got pushed back, and then there's this lack of content everybody's talking about. With that being said, Something happened in 2016, and I believe what happened in 2016 was this push towards the cloud technology. That's where they diverged all of their resources and their investments. And mark my words, in a few years or at the turn of the generation, somebody's going to burst that bubble. Somebody's going to discover what happened. So that's it from your boy, but I'm going to go to the chat right now. Graphic Guard, what's up, homie? My homie Graphic Guard, he said, I had zero interest in anything Sony offered in hardware for the last 20 years. Absolutely. To me, it's a movie box. I will tell you, Graphic Guard, that God of War. That God of War, bro. I'm not gonna say that right now because I'm gonna save it for my review because it's very hyperbolic. But what I will say is that you finally see a culmination of this reuse strategy coupled with viable gameplay. Finally. The question will be, though, they dug this strategy to the ground. The over-the-shoulder third-person, heavily story-based. Even though they finally throw some gameplay in it, how viable would it be going into next generation? Have they already run that well dry? We'll see. It took them very long to do it, but they finally done it. They finally hit the marks in all the necessary areas. Now, do I think it's a 10? That's a whole nother story. But with that being said, it's a very good game. Top Dog says, simple fact, Microsoft is not a gaming company. Neither Sony isn't a gaming company either. They're both. Sony is a tech and entertainment company. Microsoft is a computer company. They have gaming divisions. It just happens to be that Sony's gaming division is more important to them than Microsoft's gaming division is. That's all. Graphic Guard says, God of War is awesome, not worth $400 to me. Me neither. That's why I rented my PlayStation 4 Slim. I'm renting it from Aaron's. It's a place called Aaron's. It's like Rent-A-Center. I don't know if you guys have one in Canada. I'm renting mine right now. And I was surprised. You know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. And I'm very disappointed in Sony about this. Your boy is about to give. Because I got Persona 5 here. And truth be told, because I'm an RPG nut, I saw some gameplay of Nuni Kuni. And I was like, I would be willing to try it out. So I went to go price a PlayStation 4 Slim. Why is it $300? Why is a PlayStation 4 Slim $300? Should it be like $250? I thought I could get a used PlayStation for like $200. I can't. Best price I'm gonna get is $270. So no. So I'm still renting mine. Top Dog says, what gaming division at Microsoft? The gaming division that Phil Spencer's been promoted and he's ahead of, Top Dog. I know you know that, bro. Come on. T Reaper says, yeah, Jay, then your relative Kratos and his son could come to town and you were like, let's go and to eat out. No, it's not that simple. I will say this. There's a lot to do. I think there's too much to do. I think it kind of went overkill. I'm going to talk about that in my review. But there's a lot to do in that game. You upgrade your character. There's a lot of stuff that you're doing in God of War. It's a good game. And the leveling system, I will say, is good. It's good. So it's not your typical click and play Sony game. Like I will say this, regardless of my score, Santa Monica is their best studio right now. The way they put all this together. Naughty Dog's biggest problem is they've never been gameplay experts with this whole Uncharted / Uncharted / Last of Us framework. They could never nail down the gameplay where it was viable. The camera and everything, it was just horrible. And Santa Monica finally got it. Horizon Zero Dawn looks gorgeous. Whatever. It's an open world experience for whatever, man. The biggest draw to me for Horizon Zero Dawn is the usage of that engine. That engine is phenomenal. But God of War is a culmination of all of the Sony templates finally mixed together with good gameplay. All right. So, with that being said, that's it. I just want everybody to understand that it's not about hating Microsoft. It's about loving Microsoft. I love Microsoft. I don't love this new regime. And I need the Microsoft of old to come back. And what I'm hoping what will happen is that they'll pursue their 2.1 strategy, but they'll bring in some people that have that grit to them. I get it that they want to be gone to those days, but you got to know what you don't know. And what you don't know is that this 2.1 billion strategy, you trying to behind in the back alley behind Ruth Chris Steakhouse sell pulled pork is not going to work unless you get word of mouth. Unless you get the people that came for the steak to say, oh yeah, the pulled pork is good too. You need us to push this new direction. And Microsoft is trying to do it without us, and that's the problem. So with that being said, I want to shout out everybody in my chat. T Reaper, Top Dog, my man, the graphic god, man. Thank you for gracing us with your presence again, as always. Let's see, who else? Philosopher Dude, you came late. That's unacceptable. My man Cal Palmer hung out with us as long as he could. Big ups to him. Hope you subscribe. I think he got pissed off at some of the anti-Sony stuff I was saying, you know what I mean? But hey, I give it to everybody. I come down the middle, man. Can't help it. Let me see who else. Cyrus Burke. I appreciate you. Dirk Griggity was in here. I missed it. He said, our favorite brand is fucking up, Moss. It's really looking bad right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, Dirk, that I missed you, bro. Says Devs, my bad. Says, bro, big up to them. I'm sorry I butchered your name. Xavier Bay, failure from lack of support from the gamers. Nah, it's bigger than that, bro. It's bigger than that. Failure to give gamers what they want. Gamers did, look, Quantum Break to me, I'm going to say this, and y'all might not like it. I don't care. Quantum Break to me is a more fruitful experience than Uncharted 4 was. Uncharted 4 was a disappointment to me. I'm expecting the game that brings Uncharted into the sunset will have some crazy-ass gameplay, and it didn't. It didn't. It was just story. It was all click here, climb here. You know, it was long, drawn-out story. I don't have emotional purse strings to pull at. I'm an old-school gamer. I like action, kick in the face, all that other stuff. The story is the icing on the cake. I expected 4 to be better than to bring some of the action that was in 2 and some. Bring the action, I'm sorry, all of the action that was in part 2 and some. 4 was to be better than 2. This is right Uncharted of all games. One of the most critically acclaimed games of our times into the sunset. Gameplay should have been way better. With that said, Quantum Break was not our game as Xbox gamers. Even though we love Remedy, what Microsoft tried to do is they went to Remedy, a group that has smart gameplay and smart presentation, and it's just very nuanced. And they tried to take them out of their lane, which is the nuanced, smart gameplay that is subtle and its genius, and told them to make something big and explosive and bang. That they didn't understand their talents. That's why I say Microsoft is not good at cultivating development talent. They're good with just signing checks, overseeing projects, and working with big time developers. They know how to cultivate ideas, but they don't know how to cultivate talent. So that wasn't doing this. So that's why Quantum Break didn't have the reach that it had. Did it get dogged a lot? Yes. But Quantum Break was not the game. It's not as good as Alan Wake to me. I'm just going to say it. It's good. It's better than Uncharted, but that ain't saying much to someone like me. It's not as good as Alan Wake to me. Alan Wake was just genius. And you didn't have a lot of bang boom. You were killing shadows with a damn flashlight. But the presentation and everything was so ingenious. And Microsoft took them out, and they didn't understand that. They didn't understand that. They were just saying, we could just do what Sony do. We'll bring over one of Sony's developers to do Sunset Overdrive. That's why, because that's not the demographic of the Xbox game. That's why we shunned it. So it's not about lack of support Xavier, it's about them not staying in their lane. And Sony stayed in their lane this gen. So that's it. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. I said Cyrus Burke. Yes, thank y'all for coming through. Graphic God said it got dark for resolution. Just say it. It did get dark for resolution. It did get dark for resolution. But I think overall, even as good as it didn't feel like the grand experience that it could have been had Remedy been allowed to work in their subtle, ingenious way. Their subtle, ingenious way. And Top Dog says it's a poor excuse not buying it. No, it's not a poor excuse. It's Microsoft was trying to go big with stuff, but they were trying to do it with the wrong people. Like, Rise was a good game, but I don't think it was the right Ubisoft group to go big. And then they didn't market Rise well. Like, Rise, look, I'm not gonna play this game where we compare Rise to games coming out this gen. Rise was an excellent startup game. Just like Perfect Dark was an excellent startup game for the 360. Now, if you compare it to games further down the road, yeah, it doesn't compete. But for it to break out the generation, it was excellent. I love Perfect Dark. And Rise is a very good game for when it came out. It was a lot better than Killzone Shadowfall. Oh, wow. You talk about poop sandwich in the mouth. It was horrible. So when you're going to compare Rise, compare it to what you should compare it to. To Poop Fall over Shadowfall Poop, whatever the hell that kills Poop Zone Shadowfall. Look at that game on a more powerful system and look at Rise. And you tell me which one was better. I'm not going to play this game where people Rise is a side chick. I'm not going to play that silly, stupid game. It was a premier game that came out at the beginning of the generation. And it was, it was when the technology was early. It should be compared to the games that came out around that time frame. And in comparison to the games that came out around that time frame, it was very good in comparison to them. It's just it wasn't marketed well. I didn't know that Rise, an Xbox enthusiast, I didn't know that Rise was a third-person action game. I thought it was just some stupid Kinect game until like 3 years ago. I didn't know that. Microsoft is horrible at marketing this generation. Top Dog says Rise was trash. Oh, man, you lucky I can't come up with no hip-hop reference now. That's because I got to get out of here. But I appreciate all of y'all, as always. Like I said, if y'all miss my congrats and my thanks to everybody that support your boy at the beginning, rewind to the beginning and do that. I know this was a long podcast. It's an hour and 47 minutes. Golly! But you know I can babble. But that's it, people. It's not a binary choice. Because I have my issues with Microsoft, it's gaming right now, it doesn't mean that Sony's doing good. No, it's not. There's something brewing at Microsoft that is void of its hardcore, and we need to stand up and say something about it. And we can't just roll over and just play along with it. Graphic God said Rise was hot. Absolutely. It was a very good game. A very good release game. I just wish they'd have done better marketing it. Just, it is what it is. But to compare it to games down the line, no. And I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to compare Perfect Dark. Say Perfect Dark was trash. Look at BioShock. Well, no, that's at the beginning of the gen when the technology was fresh. You can't make that comparison. Just like even if Shadowfall was good, Killzone Shadowfall, I'm not going to compare it to God of War. That wouldn't be fair. That was when the technology was fresh. Yeah, Shadowfall was just garbage. But that's it, y'all. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening to your boy. Top Dog said, yeah, hot garbage. I saw what you said. But I'm out, y'all. Understand. We should expect better. And this is it. E3 will tell it all. E3 will tell it all. And this has nothing, I mean, hey, my Sony people, y'all welcome to sit by and go for the ride. But, you know, I'm doing this for my Xbox people. This particular one where I'm telling y'all, you know, don't sit there and wait every half an hour for them to say it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. If you don't smell the steak, you can't hear it sizzle, it don't look like it's coming. So that's it from your boy. I appreciate all of y'all. And as always, you have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. I'm out. Hey, y'all.